we're trying to do is what mushrooms can do is they are going to boost your immune system. They're going to increase energy. They're going to help with your digestion. They act as adaptogens, so they're really great on helping your adrenal glands work better. They modulate the immune system, so they boost it, but also decrease it. So it's great for autoimmune diseases, especially people that might have autoimmune diseases and their immune systems are depleted. We're able to decrease that immune response and keep it from attacking the joints, etc. But we're also able to keep that immune system strong to be able to fight those infections that may come on board. So this mushroom blend, making it into a drink, it tastes great, but also you get all these health benefits and you get the mental clarity, focus, and concentration, which you get from coffee, but you don't get depleted and you're able to stay healthy.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. I'm Theresa. I'm a mom, I'm a health nut, and a wife to a cancer fighter. And today I'm with Dr. Jake to talk about mushrooms for your health, as well as a possible replacement for coffee. Dr. Jake, you've had some success with patients with mushrooms, right?
Yeah, so I had Brian come into my office. He was a high-end executive. He was working hard all the time, working 16 hours a week, and then having to take care of his kids. So he was really just really depleting himself. So he wasn't able to function very well. He was more angry. He was tired all the time, and it was really affecting his family life and his work life. So we came in. I did some detailed history to find out what was going on. And I saw that he needed to modify his diet a little bit, and we needed to do some things to help his adrenal glands and get energy production going. So what I did for him is I gave him some herbs, and then I also gave him cordyceps. And cordyceps was kind of a later thing I did for him. We were doing some herbs and dietary things, and he was doing good, but he wasn't quite getting the energy that he wanted. So it's like, okay, let's start giving you some cordyceps mushroom. And that really just turned on the light switch for him that he was really able to focus and concentrate. His energy was great. He was able to exercise for a couple hours in the morning right before work. So his energy really clicked on, and then he was able to focus, concentrate. He wasn't as angry, and he was able to get everything that he wanted done. So it was really awesome to see how well cordyceps worked for him.
So I'm really excited for this episode. But first, we want to remind our audience that this is just a podcast, right, Dr. Jake?
Yeah, so this is just a podcast. I'm not going to make any specific diagnoses or tell you what you need to do or not to do. I'm only going to give you little pieces of what to do. So if you have any autoimmune diseases, cancer, or any other chronic conditions, you need to give our office a call. Visit our website, integrativemedica.com, and give us a call, and we'll help you out.
All right. So let's talk and get into the benefits of mushrooms. But first, Dr. Jake, what is new with you these days?
So what's new with me these days? Nothing new. I'm a pretty boring guy, but I like to do some really fun things. I live up in the mountains, so I love to go mountain biking and get a great workout going up the mountains, get a good workout, and then have the good thrill of going down the mountain. That's been a lot of fun. I've been having a lot of fun going out with my kids and hiking. I love the summertime because I'm able to go work all day, and then I'm able to come home and just do something fun with the kids. Go hang out in the backyard and watch my kids do their gymnastics and their ballet stuff and throw the kids up in the air. So it's been a lot of fun doing that. And it's really awesome to be up in the mountains because we're able to go hiking wherever we want and go see waterfalls. So it's been really great to this summertime to do that with the kids.
Now, I'm noticing that that's really kind of a big thing with Utah culture, right? Like Utah culture tends to be very centered around the mountains, hiking, that kind of a thing. And do you live in like the Salt Lake City area?
So I live about 30 minutes south of Salt Lake in a little community called Alpine, right up nestled up to the mountains. So we have a lot of trails and things really close by to do outdoors. So it's a lot of fun.
Great. Well, I know since we've moved over to this area, we're looking forward to more opportunities to hike. We don't have the beach anymore like we did in California, but it's like we traded for the mountains, so let's do it. Let's get into these mountains. So you're inspiring me, Dr. Jake, with all of the things that you're doing out there. So I know that we're doing this episode specifically on mushrooms, and a lot of people are learning about it. I know this is a new topic for me. I consider myself to be a health nut, but mushrooms is like a new part of my journey. So I have a ton of questions for you. I know our audience is probably interested in it as well, otherwise they wouldn't be listening right now. So let's just start from the top. Like, what are the benefits overall? Obviously, there's a lot of differences between them, but what would you say overall are the benefits of mushrooms?
So there's a ton of health benefits. So a lot of times when people think of mushrooms, they think of psychedelic stuff, right? Oh man, I'm gonna go get high. No, mushrooms do a lot of different things. Very good for the immune system. That's one of the biggest things all mushrooms have is they have a lot of polysaccharides, which are these little sugar molecules. And when we say sugar, we think, oh no, sugar is bad. But there's certain types of sugar and the effects they have on the body. So there's certain polysaccharides, sugars that have all these awesome health benefits for the body. And one of the big one is boosting the immune system. So it can help prevent you from getting sicknesses like viral infections, bacterial infections, fungal infections, because it's always keeping your immune system on surveillance to be able to take care of these bugs that might come on board. It also is really great as a preventative from getting cancer per se, because one big reason why people can get cancer is their immune systems gets depleted. And all of us are always making cancer cells all the time. It's happening and we're making cancer cells all the time, but our immune systems take care of it. So when our immune systems aren't revved up or they're depleted at some point, those cancer cells start replicating too fast and our immune systems can't keep up. So mushrooms help keep that immune system on constant surveillance, keeping it strong, keeping it more functional to be able to take care of the bugs, but also these cancer cells that might come on board.
Wow, that's amazing. So, as far as how you can take mushrooms, I mean, obviously it grows in the ground. I know when I think of mushrooms, some of your audience might be thinking of psychedelics, but for me, I'm thinking of like what I might like slice up and put into a salad, right? Like I portobello, and I think of these types of mushrooms. But what are the ways that one can take these medicinal type of mushrooms?
I mean, you could put them on a salad or whatever. I mean, usually we like to make them in a powder, and you can just sprinkle them on a salad. Many of them just taste very earthy, and they taste really great. Many times you could just put them in a smoothie, or you could put them in a drink. What I did is I've been thinking about what can I do to make a mushroom blend or make a drink that's very healthy, that boosts energy, focus, concentration, helps with the immune system, helps with the digestion, helps balance out our adrenal glands, and so forth. What can I do? What type of drink can I make? Because I have a lot of patients that come into me that they are pounding the coffee. They have chronic fatigue syndrome, and all they're doing is pounding the coffee all the time. They get up like 6 cups, maybe 8 cups of coffee per day because their bodies just aren't working very well. And what coffee does is it depletes the system. It works on your adrenal glands and makes your adrenal glands make cortisol. So that works on your body and makes your body more tired. Even though you get that little energy burst, it's more depleted on your body. So you're going to need more and more and more. So I was like, okay, how do I create a drink that is able to not be depleting to the body like caffeine or coffee is, but still give people that energy, focus, and concentration? So I researched for a long time and I came up with a mushroom blend that has cordyceps, chaga, reishi, and lion's mane that's able to not deplete your body, but just help your body make energy more efficiently and actually make your muscles work more efficiently and make your brain work more efficiently without depleting the body. So you're able to maintain that long-term energy and not have to depend on something forever. For example, cordyceps. Cordyceps is really awesome on increasing your cellular level energy production. So it makes your cells work more efficiently. So what that means is it makes your process of making ATP, your energy production, it makes it easier to do. It also makes lactate not build up in your muscles. So let's say you're working out hard, you're running really hard, your muscles start to ache and burn, that's that lactate that builds up. But when you take cordyceps, it decreases that amount of lactate that builds up there. So you're able to run harder and longer, and then you're able to regenerate and heal after that, and you're able to run longer and harder the next time. Also, when you're working out, it helps you get stronger because you're able to work out harder because you don't have that lactate buildup. So that's just a general idea of kind of what we're trying to do is what mushrooms can do is they're going to boost your immune system. They're going to increase energy. They're going to help with your digestion. They act as adaptogens, so they're really great on helping your adrenal glands work better. They modulate the immune system, so they boost it, but also decrease it. So it's great for autoimmune diseases, especially people that might have autoimmune diseases and their immune systems are depleted. We're able to decrease that immune response and keep it from attacking the joints, etc. But we're also able to keep that immune system strong to be able to fight those infections that may come on board. So this mushroom blend, making it into a drink, it tastes great, but also you get all these health benefits and you get the mental clarity, focus, and concentration, which you get from coffee, but you don't get depleted and you're able to stay healthy.
Interesting. So you said a couple of things that I want to like go back and dig into. One is that you could drink mushrooms. You can put it in like a mush, like you make a powder. You can actually make it where it's an enjoyable beverage. And I want to talk more about that in a second. But the one that I want to really focus in on is you talked about cordyceps. And then
Mhm.
you mentioned in this particular blend that you are finding to be very successful, three other mushrooms. Can you go and just repeat those three a little more slowly so our audience can write them down? You just make a note of them.
S-
And then how are those
Yes.
different or how do they complement the cordyceps?
So we have chaga,
Okay.
reishi, and then lion's mane.
Okay.
So chaga is a mushroom that we find up in Russia and northern European type of location. And chaga feeds off of this tree. And it has a great medicinal benefits, a lot like cordyceps. A lot of mushrooms have similar effects, but what I would say chaga has a little bit more on is really decreasing that inflammatory response in the gut, and also it's really great on decreasing your blood sugar regulation. So it's really good on balancing that inflammatory response happening in the gut and balancing your blood sugar. So it can be a good weight loss tool also. Reishi mushroom, I call that the longevity mushroom because it's really going to help your body function better in so many different ways and just help you live a longer, more prosperous life. And then we have lion's mane. I like to segregate this one into more of the brain health mushroom. This one really has a lot of research on helping people with Alzheimer's disease and helping people with memory and cognitive issues. And people not with any mental disorders, it really helps, or cognitive issues, it really helps them focus and concentrate and just remember what they're learning more effectively.
Wow. So the one I knew about was the reishi, and I know that that's one of the mushrooms that you're having my husband, who's a cancer fighter,
Mhm.
take to help him with his cancer. How does that work with is it just because of the immune system aspect of it?
Big piece of it is the immune aspect of it. So a lot of mushrooms we talk about, the medicinal ones, all of them have immune stimulatory effects. So that's
Okay.
what's really awesome about them. And reishi is stronger in the research specifically for cancer. There's a lot of research on showing reishi mushrooms being really great for cancer. Same with turkey tail mushrooms. I don't have that in our blend here, but reishi is a really great anti-cancer because it boosts the immune system, but also has constituents in there that have anti-cancer effects in there. Chaga is one too. That one has anti-cancer molecules in there that can be really effective against cancer also.
So you like to put it in a drink. I know that like for example, the reishi that my husband's taking, he's taking it in capsules. We talked about, yeah, you could put it in a salad. I've never seen these mushrooms at a grocery store. Are these like if one were to want to buy these mushrooms to put them on a salad or something like that? Do you know of where one could find these mushrooms?
So they could find them. You're not going to go to a general store, maybe at a Whole Foods or something, but probably not. You could go to a health food store. Maybe they would have them. They're not extremely easy to find. You can look online and you'll be able to find them. You want to make sure you get a good quality mushroom because they're all over the map of their quality assurance and etc. to
Mm.
actually have their specific constituents in there. But probably the easiest way in the life we live in now is to look for them online. Is
Okay.
the easiest way.
All right. So you're talking about this powder form, and I was really excited because I know you've come up with this blend and you've added some ingredients, and that's a definitely a good alternative. I know for me, I'm a big coffee, person as well, and I definitely have noticed its effects on draining my adrenals, and so I've been in this like vicious cycle. I haven't been as much as some of your clients where they're drinking 6 to 8 cups a day, but I've definitely been on 3 cups, two in the morning, one in the afternoon, and I was finding that the first two would definitely get me going, but then I'd have this big crash right after lunch. The one that I would have after lunch was working at first, but then it stopped working, and it would be a point where it was like I was wired but tired, if that makes any sense at all.
Mhm.
And so it wasn't really helping me. And so when I talked with Dr. Jake a little bit earlier about this blend, I wanted to try it, and I'm actually drinking it right now. And guys, this is delicious. It is delicious. I wouldn't say that it tastes exactly like coffee. It certainly satisfies a similar taste bud. Like in our mouth, we have different taste buds that have different needs. And there is like, I think there's one that's called like the unami. Am I saying that right word? Do you know what word I'm talking about, Dr. Jake?
Unami.
There's a taste bud that is satisfied by like more bitter types of
Hmm.
food bitter, and I
Sure.
would even say like meat. Like, and
Hmm.
mushrooms kind of satisfy that same area. This
Yeah,
is
it's in
doing
the
that.
back of your tongue. Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's really doing it for
Hmm.
me. It tastes delicious. And what we're doing here is, so we have the 4 different types of mushrooms that you've blended in there, and then we've added, he's got some other things that he mixed into it. What are some of the other things that you like to add to the mushroom blend to make it taste good?
So I add cacao, which is chocolate, right? But cacao is different than cocoa, and it's different than chocolate because it's all matter of the processing of the cocoa bean. So cacao is a different process. It doesn't high heat it like it does in cocoa. It is a slow fermentation process. So we're able to maintain that antioxidant and the health effects of the cacao much more readily. And we're able to have all those minerals and nutrients that are in the chocolate more readily in a cacao. So we add cacao in there, and that adds flavor to it because I get that chocolate flavor to it. Then we add some cinnamon and ginger, which adds some health benefits, but also it just adds that great little flavor to it. And then I just add some other things in there to help with the adrenal gland function and get those adrenal glands supercharged and help those adrenal glands work more effectively is add ashwagandha and ginseng in there. So the combination of all these different things in there, we're able to increase that focus, that concentration, the decrease of the crash that happens. It's long lasting duration of energy. This isn't going to give you a big spike of energy. It's not going to be like, oh yeah, I feel it really good. It's going to be this gradual process of energy production that you just feel that mental clarity, concentration, and focus. Even though I'll go back a little bit, I know I gave it to my wife and she was dragging in the afternoon and she drank one sip of it and she got that really big surge of it. But it's not going to be like that big surge that happens with caffeine. It's going to be a more healthy, non-jittery effect that happens with this.
I've taken ashwagandha specifically in the past for my anxiety. And, I'm not taking it now, but I have in the past and I've cycled it because I know it's an adaptogen. It was so helpful, especially during times where I was like really, really anxious. So that's neat to know that it's in there. And it doesn't taste in any way like herbally at all. So I think that the blend that you've come up with is really good. My question, I think at this point would be like, how much mushrooms can one take? How much mushrooms should one take, depending on what their needs are? So let's take just the average everyday person. What, how much mushroom should they be taking for just the general, cognitive benefits, the anti-inflammatory benefits, health benefits for that?
That all depends on the type of mushroom, and it is quite difficult to take too much mushrooms. But mushrooms, especially these medicinal mushrooms, can be a little pricey, so you don't want
Okay.
to take too much of it. General milligram dosing of each one depends. It goes from like 250 milligrams up to like 3 or 10 grams, depending on what type of medicinal effect you want. What I'm doing with my drink is it's more of a tonic. It's not going to give you strong effects that you want for, like, let's say if you have rheumatoid arthritis and you want that strong anti-inflammatory effect. Even though this will help with that, it's going to be more tonifying than, hey, let's just block that inflammatory response with taking high doses of cordyceps, for example, because you go up to about 6 to 10 grams when we do that, when we just want to block that inflammatory autoimmune reaction. But with this, we have a great tonifier that's going to decrease that inflammation and help things just work more effectively at low doses. So, but if you're wanting to get that medicinal effect and choose each individual mushroom, it goes from 250 to 10 grams, which is a big, broad range. I know that, but it just depends on what type of mushroom we're dealing with.
So what I hear you saying is for like the everyday person who may not be struggling with autoimmune conditions or cancer, those types of things,
Mm-hmm.
they could just take this drink and have it as a tonic and they can get some health
Mm-hmm.
benefits. But somebody
Exactly.
who might be struggling with something more serious, like an autoimmune condition or cancer or something like that, that they might want to enjoy this, but also supplement with some higher dosage mushrooms
Mm-hmm.
that their doctor, recommends as far as dosaging.
Mm-hmm. For
Awesome.
sure.
All right.
Even though I've noticed that people with autoimmune conditions, when they drink this drink, they do feel better. But if we look at the research, the doses are much higher.
That makes sense. That makes sense. As far as somebody who might be addicted to coffee or struggling with coffee, can we talk a little bit more about what coffee is doing to them? I mean, even let's just even talk about somebody who doesn't even have adrenal issues yet per se, right? Like just an average coffee drinker, what's happening in their body that could potentially cause issues later on? And then for someone who does have adrenal issues and they're drinking coffee, like what's the harm? What's the problem with continuing to use coffee as your energy source instead of something a little bit more healthy like mushrooms?
So first off, I don't want to bash coffee. Coffee can be good. It has good things in there. It has good antioxidants. There is some research on it being beneficial for your general health. The biggest concern that I have with coffee is the large amount of caffeine that it has in there. And that caffeine overtaxes your adrenal glands and makes your adrenal glands increase their cortisol and DHEA production, which then if you're continuing to hit those adrenal glands saying, hey, make cortisol, make cortisol, make cortisol, it's going to stress them out and they're going to get tired and then they're not going to function well, or they're going to become imbalanced and you're making cortisol too much at nighttime and not making enough in the morning time, etc. So it can really deplete you when you're doing that. And also it's a diuretic. So it's going to make you dehydrated. Sometimes I have people like, oh, I'm well hydrated. I'm drinking 6 cups of coffee. How much water are you drinking? Oh, 1 cup. You're extremely dehydrated when you're doing that because it's going to help make you pee more and you're not going to be able to retain your water retention as much. So when you're still continue to drink coffee just every day or continue to drink it all the time, you're going to continue to tax those adrenal glands, which then is gradually just going to make you more tired and more tired. And then you're going to need more and more coffee, or maybe you're going to go with something stronger. Maybe you're going to go with a pre-workout or some caffeine pill, or you're going to go with some Rockstar because your body keeps on decreasing its cortisol production and you want to keep on craving that. That's why I created a drink to not have that effect that's very low in caffeine. It just makes your cells work better for energy production so it doesn't deplete the body. So let's say you're really stressed out, like you're really stressed out at school or at work and you're working really hard, right? So you're pumping cortisol. But then you're like, oh, I need to stay up late and I'm really tired, so I'm going to drink some coffee. Then you're pumping more cortisol. That is just tons of stress that you're putting on your adrenal glands, and that's going to lead to fatigue, concentration issues, focus issues, sleep issues, etc. when we keep on doing that.
And then the long-term effects is that it taps the adrenals. What I'm hearing from you, and this is something that I didn't think I knew prior to this, is when we're drinking caffeine, whether it's in coffee or soda or whatever, I think a lot of us kind of think of it as I'm putting caffeine into me, and when I feel energy, I'm feeling the caffeine. But what I'm hearing you say, and please clarify if I'm wrong, is that I'm actually feeling my own cortisol, that the caffeine is communicating to my adrenals to create more cortisol. And the effects that I'm feeling, this energy, this maybe even some stress that I might be feeling from it, that's driving me to get things done, but it can feel a little stressful, is actually my own cortisol.
Exactly. That's how it works. That's what
Okay.
caffeine is doing. The secret is cortisol, also norepinephrine, epinephrine, all these things to stimulate energy production. That's why we feel good when we do caffeine, and that's why we feel some mental clarity and focus when we do that also.
So what is the design of, like, what's the purpose of cortisol, and how is the body supposed to actually use that? I don't want to go obviously into this too far into this episode as far as cortisol, but just thinking about how it works compared to like what's happening with when you take mushrooms instead. Like, what are your cortisol supposed to do for you? What's the benefit of it?
Cortisol is a very important hormone. All our hormones are really important, but cortisol helps us get energy. It helps us focus and concentrate. It also balances our blood sugar, and it also decreases inflammation in our body. So if you're messing with that cortisol response, it's going to mess with all those things going on. It also is needed for our sleep response. So we're supposed to decrease that at night. So if you keep on messing with that by taking caffeine or coffee, soda, etc., you're going to mess with all those mechanisms of action. So you might have inflammatory issues. You might have sleep issues. You might have depression, anxiety issues. All kinds of things might be happening because of the imbalance that you're causing with the cortisol response. So that's why I wanted to create something that could be a good balancer of that cortisol response. That's why we have some ashwagandha and ginseng in there that balance out that cortisol response. They are adaptogens, meaning that they are going to balance out that cortisol, meaning it's not going to stimulate, it's not going to understimulate it. It's going to increase it if needed and decrease it as not. That's what's really great about these. And some of the mushrooms are great adaptogens too, immune adaptogens and also adrenal adaptogens.
Wow. That's amazing. So there's other ways that we can get energy without having to tap our cortisol levels so that we can have that energy that we're supposed to have throughout the day that our cortisol is needed for, but not making it last longer than we need to so that we can actually have a healthy night's sleep. And there's other ways to get this energy through the mushrooms with the cells. I love that. That's really powerful. So you've come up with this blend, and I mean, is there a place where we can get it? Help us out here. I want to drink more of this.
Yeah, so what you want to do is you want to visit terrabrew.com, and you could go onto that website and purchase what you want. So we have several different sizes, and you could choose which one works for you. And then we also have a creamer that we've made, a MCT oil coconut milk creamer, to actually add to the energy effects. This MCT oil is a great quick energy source. So what's great about it is you get the Terra Brew, which is going to increase the efficiency of your body to make energy. And then we have the MCT oil to give the fuel for increased energy. So we're making your body work better, and then we're giving it the fuel to keep it going. So that's why when you combine the two, we're able to get the energy going, but then it's able to last, and it's going to last throughout the day. So it's going to last, like, let's say you drink it at 7, it's going to last till about 2 p.m. And then you're not going to have a big crash. You're just not going to feel that boost anymore.
Terra Brew. And we can have it in the morning. Could you have another one at 2 o'clock
Yeah.
I mean, how might one feel at 2 o'clock after it wears off?
And that's really great too. And what's awesome about this is you could even take it in the evening and you're not going to stay up. I wouldn't say take it right before you go to bed, but like coffee, if you take it after 5 o'clock, you're going to have a lot of difficulty falling asleep. You could take Terra Brew after that, and that's TERRA Brew BRU. So you could take that later in the evening if you really need a little bit focus and concentration and energy, and still be able to sleep at night. Because we're talking about improving your function of your cells, but also we have a lot of things that are calming your cortisol production down and helping you sleep. So it's a great tonic in that way.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that. I'm going to make sure that we have terrabrew.com in the description box for anybody who wants to try out the blend, and let us know what you think of it. Be sure to make a comment in the comments if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're listening to this on your favorite podcast platform, be sure to leave a good review and let us know what you think of the Terra Brew. In the meantime, if anybody wants to keep in touch with you and talk more about maybe if they have adrenal issues, maybe they have autoimmune issues, and they want to talk more about like a mushroom supplementation plan for themselves or the other things that just come alongside with it. You were talking earlier about how mushrooms are a part of a treatment plan, not always the treatment plan, because there's so many other missing aspects. How can somebody get a hold of you and be able to take the next step in their health journey?
So in these podcasts, we're talking about little tidbits, right? Little pieces to the puzzle might be what you're dealing with your chronic condition. So if you really want a detailed plan to identify what's going on with you and know what type of mushrooms you need to take or what type of adrenal gland supplements you need to take, you could give us a call by visiting integrativemedica.com and give us a call at 801-676-9876. And you can set up a visit with me or one of my associates that are really awesome that are just as good as me.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Jake, and we'll see everybody else on the next episode.
Hey, Dr. Jake, thank you for your time today. And if you enjoyed the show, then do us a favor and leave a review. It helps more people to find the show, which could save their life. And remember, this is a podcast and should not replace personalized attention from a medical professional like Dr. Jake. If you or someone you know has been diagnosed with an autoimmune disorder, cancer of any stage, or a life-changing illness, visit our website today and schedule a virtual appointment with one of our doctors who can lead you to a treatment plan in your area. That's integrativemedica.com. Integrative, MEDICA.com.
Thank you for listening to the Integrative Medica podcast with Dr. Jake. To hear past episodes and get alerts for the future, subscribe to us on your favorite podcasting platform and be sure to follow us on YouTube as well. Just search for Integrative Medica with Dr. Jake.